everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Cheese Gurus again after 1 week pause. So today we are talking about the power of believing. I hope that everybody had a great time. I personally was in Las Vegas and it was so freaking hot. You cannot believe. And here back in Florida, it's hot as well, but less hot, but considerably more humid. I tell you, believe me. Anyway, who wants to go first? Bobby, you were in San Francisco, I heard. So
That's right, I was, and it was getting hot there, and it's strange. It's the weather's usually perfect, and that's one of the reasons so many people want to live there. But they're having the heat warnings and everything too, and up in the 90s and mid 90s. But the strange thing about it is I don't know many people that have air conditioned homes in the Bay Area because they've never needed. It's just always perfect. They might have a little heat for when it gets cool. So there's a lot of real unhappy people in San Francisco right now because they've got air conditioning in their cars. But anyhow, I just love the topic. I know I've said it two or three times in the past, but um, uh, I've got this little refrigerator magnet that says "Proceed as though success is inevitable," and that's kind of been. There's so many things like that I believe that I feel like I'm doing the right things. I've made the right choices. I'm on the right path. And, so much of is the journey with me. It's so much the journey rather than the destination. But, maybe it's going to be time to pick a destination. I'm not getting any younger, but I enjoy the journey a whole lot. And then I was just, he was a oh gosh, he was not a really nice person, but Henry Ford uh, has a quote I like too. It was like, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And that really is kind of also at the core of my belief. I believe I can do this, and I believe I can have my best life. And and then that expectation that I am going to have my best life. And so uh, I'm always happy to get out of the house or go do something or have things on the calendar because I just know I'm going to run into people um, and have a good day. So anyhow, um, um, it's a belief in positive kind of things, but it's real easy too to believe in negative stuff like, oh no, I can believe nobody likes me, nobody wants me to be happy. Nobody's going to take care of me. You can believe that kind of stuff and then wonder why that's your reality. So I think belief is really important, and I just believe I'm from here on out. I'm doing everything to have my best life. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to have disappointments or I'm going to lose people here and there. Like I lost my spouse a couple years ago, but but I'm still in a really good place, and I'm able to take care of everything, and I'm able to keep marching forward. So belief is really important to me, and especially the belief that I'm doing the right thing, making the right choices. So I spend a lot of time begging for the wisdom to do the next right thing. A lot of times, every day.
yeah,
Back to you.
that is so true. That is so true. Yeah. Jimmy, would you like to go?
Sure. So welcome, everyone. It's good to have a forum here tonight. And I got my dog in the car with me. Everyone's kind of given a weather forecast. I'm on in my car with my dog parked on Fort Lauderdale Beach. I'm looking at the beach and Coconut palms and the ocean, and there's not a cloud in the sky,
Yeah.
and it's blowing out of the east pretty good. And I think the Hurricane Beryl down there in the southern Caribbean has sucked all the moisture out of the air, so it's actually quite nice here.
Hmm.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, we closed with um, one of my favorite sayings, like Bobby's got a couple really good quotes that I just love hearing it every time. The proceed as if success is inevitable. That's like the optimum of optimism.
Yep.
So favorite sayings is not in time, place, or circumstance, but in the person lies success. And I closed that the last podcast, and I pondered that, and I'm like, why? Why is that true? Because in my view, the person creates the time, place, and circumstance that provides for that success. And that'll parlay into what we're talking about tonight, the power of belief. So the more we believe in these principles, the higher the probability that it'll happen.
Yep.
So our degree of belief in the magic of our own self is proportional to the degree in which it happens. And that, if I can drive anything home this afternoon with everybody, it's the more the absence of doubt will almost guarantee victory. And you look at, I forget these quarterbacks' name, the one Tom Brady or whoever the quarterback is that won all these Super Bowls. I do believe that he uses the power of belief. And if you believe you're going to win the Super Bowl game, guess what? You will. If you believe it more than the other folks. And so if we approach something with a total commitment in that our degree of belief is unshakable, that failure is not an option, and uh, the probability of that occurring is huge, huge. And even if you think that you may not make it, if you keep going, each step that we make, each step that we take is closer to our goal.
Hello. Okay.
Audio issue?
Sorry. We're not hearing very well what you're saying. Sometimes it cuts a little bit out of hand. Yeah, power of believing is a very, very important thing. Raj, would you like to go now?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So I have to say what Dr. Bobby said about you can have a belief, but are you believing in a positive type of way or a negative type of way? And I think that's like key because right away when I thought about the topic, I went right to the positive side. But then when Bobby brought that up, I was like, oh, that's true. Because you can believe that you're a failure. You can believe that you're ugly. You can believe that you don't have any sort of opportunities. And so you can go on the other side of it. But because we are trans gurus, we are going to stay on the positive side and that's where, to me, belief comes in as such a powerful thing to really have a dynamic life. And my thing is like when you don't believe in something, like you don't have a belief, even in the belief in tomorrow, the next day, faith that there's a future and have some sort of belief, there's to me, and I've experienced it before, not thank God not for a long, long time, but I've had bouts of it where you do feel hopeless
Yeah.
and you're kind of just walking around and existing. There's something about having faith and belief and believing in your future. that keeps us going, I think. A lot of us going. And so there's a saying, and I'm not sure who the author is. I think actually, if I'm remembering correctly, the author is anonymous, but it goes like this: Fear came to the door and knocked. Faith opened the door and there was nothing there. So having the faith, the belief in yourself, and the belief that good things are in store for you, opportunities are in store for you, and that dynamic life that you dream of, you wish you could have, is in store for you. I know from my life, as I've journeyed, I find that when I'm in that space, it just makes for a better day, a better week, a better month, a better life. So that's what I'll say for now. And I'm going to throw it back to Ella.
Yeah, it is really true. What you wish, you get.
Yeah.
If you wish positivity, you get positivity. If you wish negativity, you usually get the negativity too, which is a problem. I would say that this is probably one of the biggest problems around the world. The amount of negativity and people which are negative and they attract the negativity is pretty high, you know. I start every day by believing. And how do I do that? Okay, not that I've got a particular religion, because I don't have a particular religion. I'm faithful to Catholicism, to Judaism, to Hindus. I like the Hindu religions as well. But I do have a belief in something which is on top, which is beautiful, which is helping us. Probably everybody's their own God. But I do pray. And for me, praying, the act of praying is not necessarily because I'm praying to a certain God or something like that, but it's the act of reinforcing my beliefs. And my prayers are, I would say, a little bit of beliefs, my beliefs, what I can achieve, the positivity which is around me. I pray to be positive. And the other way I work with my beliefs, of the power of my beliefs, is to have this picture of who I am and what I want to do, and update it on a regular basis, of course, because life is dynamic. It's never always the same. It is a dynamic life, and that gives me a lot of force and a lot of chance. It's always beautiful when what you believed in all of a sudden materializes. Those magical moments. This is what we live for. It's the journey, the belief to get it. One of the many things I believed in, of course, is in my ability to be a professional person and to carry on what I've started many years ago with my businesses and my, even if I change and I became my own self, with my transition. And it is very interesting because after all these years, I was in an exhibition, as I told you, in Las Vegas. And I saw many, many, many of the people that I known for many, many years. Some of them 25, 30 years.
That's amazing.
And they all come and say hello. Many of them were working in the same companies, and we had experiences that we had for, 15 years ago or 20 years ago. And everybody was laughing together and talking about those experiences. And I was very proud of myself. You know why? Because they were respectful towards me. There were people which knew me from before. They were respectful. They were nice to me. They were calling me in my right name.
That's great.
And that gave me a lot of pleasure, As a matter of fact, many of them, we are going to do a kind of a special group in LinkedIn, just to communicate with each other and talk about opportunities and talk about other things. And I'll be one of the founders of this initiative. And it's nice that, you believe in other people and other people believe in you, if only you are a correct person towards each other. And believe me, no politics there. Absolutely no politics there.
Mhm.
And I suppose many of them, no, I know many of them are really rednecks.
Okay.
Oh my
To put it mildly, but it was nice. It was nice. And it really proves, believe in yourself. Give a little bit of self-confidence to the world, because the world will give it to you, back to you, and think positive. There's only one way of thinking. It is to think positive.
I know. I wish Jimmy could get back in because Jimmy
Yeah,
talks an awful
I'm
lot.
going to text her, because there was some problems with the sound she's got. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she'll be here. But I'll um, talk about her in her absence. But she's always talking about the importance of what you choose to think about, and always mentioning these different podcasts or motivational speakers or people that she's listening to, working out in the gym and things like that. And uh, um, your subconscious is real decisive and influential in how every day goes for you, and it's the type of stuff that you feed your brain, um, that and how you go to sleep. And I love what Raji was saying about fear knocking at the door and faith opening it, and there was nothing there. And it really, that's so true. It's so true. But unfortunately, those are things that you only learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You have to, kind of be at your wits' end sometimes. You have to be in a really dark place where you don't know how you're going to get out, to realize how much opportunity and choice you have every moment anyhow. And there was, as you were talking, and I know I've talked about it once before, but it was a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. I keep it on my phone, and I've got a whole folder full of these really wonderful, wise, I call them nuggets of wisdom. And I like to read those things right before I fall asleep. Like the last 20 minutes or so of my day, I just like to read those, because that's what I want my subconscious to believe. And this one by Gandhi, I just love it because it's I built that whole folder around this. It's, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. And you got to understand who says that. It's like, these is just a poor one individual in the nation of India under colonial rule by the British Empire, going, uh, there's a better life for me and my people. I mean, those odds are enormous. I'm not sure, but aren't there close to 1 billion people in India?
Yeah.
It's a huge population, and I I remember being in a football stadium, a college football stadium once, and there's less than 40,000 people in there, and they're saying, "Look at your ticket stub. We're getting ready to give away a free set of tires." And I thought, "Oh, I really need a set of tires." And so, but here's 40,000 people all around me with a ticket stub, and I'm not surprised they didn't call my number. And that's I was just trying to think that's just one out of 40,000. So you got somebody like Gandhi, one out of 1 billion people, and he just believed that. And it's like he believed that even if he didn't have the capacity to do it, he would gain that capacity. And that's what I really love about that quote, because uh, for me personally, that's the way I always had to look at bottom surgery and a lot of stuff associated with transitioning medically. Um, I don't know how I'm ever going to afford that. Uh, I don't know how I'll ever have the means to make that happen, but I know I will. And that's why I love that quote so much, because I never stopped believing that I was going to be able to do that. And even though I didn't know how I was going to accumulate all that money, and I raise a family and get them all educated and married and all that stuff. It's like, oh my God, I didn't have anything left for myself. But when it finally happened, when all the cosmic tumblers clicked into place, and it's like, oh my God, I've got a date. I've got what I need to make it happen. It's really going to happen. There's a date with destiny on my calendar, and that's exactly why I never stopped believing that I was going to be able to make that happen. But it was an enormous undertaking for somebody like me, and and I had the capacity right there at the end. It was just everything was there, and it was, I can't tell you how much of an impact that had on my belief system and everything else. It's like, oh my God, this is really going to happen. And I never doubted that it would. And so I just, when you hear people like Gandhi speaking and you realize who he is and what he did, and how just what an unlikely hero he ever should have been, that he pulled that off. And so when people like Gandhi speak, I try to listen, because they've done something I probably will never come close to achieving. So I take a lot for that. And I just want to read it. It says, "If I have a belief that I can do it, surely I'll acquire the capacity to do it, even if I don't have it in the beginning."
Yeah.
And that's exactly the way my life has turned out. So I pass that along. So
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, Gandhi. Um, I have to say, he's been someone, or he was someone, which was absolutely unbelievable knowledge, talent, uh,
mhm.
beliefs, positivity. Although he was a politician, he was probably a guru as well, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure of that. I'm sure.
Yeah. Raji, you have got some connections to India. I've got some connections to India too.
Yes. Yes, on my father's side, my father was Southeast Asian, well, actually South Asian Indian descent. So, and from the island of Trinidad, but that's a whole lot other story, and
Yeah, yeah,
that has to do with the British rule.
right.
Um, but that's another show. So, as far as the believing, and I seen it with my life, the more that I believed in myself, the more confident I got. And in that, the more respect I got. I saw it as I got more belief in myself. And throughout my whole life, and in regards to my transition, because when I first transitioned, I was very insecure. I was very insecure. I was paranoid. I was very self conscious when I went out in public. And as time went on, and I began believing more in myself and the way I feel and respecting who I am in this world, it just made me more confident, and it just helped me to truly be able to live life with vigor, and just in an optimal kind of way. Because when you are insecure and not confident about who you are, and you're trying to maneuver in the world, it can be so very hard. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is when I've desired things, like I have a goal or goals that I want, and I don't know how they're going to manifest, but I know that I want them. And I think all of us have addressed that on some level today. The more I believe in it, the more it seems to be accelerated into the manifestation. Things start to open up. Oh, I can do this. Okay. And then I can do that. And that will get me to what I want. It's amazing. And you'll see it in your life when you really have belief in yourself and the desires that you want, your goals that you set for yourself, where you want yourself to be, what you want your life to be. You will see that the more you believe in it, the more, actually, the faster it will manifest. I've
Absolutely.
seen it in my life over and over and over again. And we're work in progress. I mean, I think it also takes practice. There's sometimes where I like my belief or faith may wane a little bit, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't go back up. And I continue to grow and get stronger in it. So I say that, for all of you out there, not to be discouraged if you find that, like, it's a bit of a battle, and you just be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and just practice makes perfect. Anything, when you exercise, when you're learning a trade, when you're trying to do anything, the more you do it and the more you practice at it, the better you get. Ella.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you something. Before I was talking about prayers. Actually, to tell you the truth, yes, they are prayers, but not from the Catholic type of prayers. They're more mantras, meaning that, they are beliefs that I have, not necessarily that the church has. It's the beliefs I have. Of course, I do believe in the exterior, beautiful God and whatever. Um, let's put it this way: a very good identity. But my prayers are mantras, and exactly in those mantras you put your beliefs inside, because that's what mantras are for. Somehow a little bit Indian too, but I have got my Indian connection too. Be careful.
I think sometimes you might be a little more Indian than me.
um, probably yes. Not in the DNA, but in the approach,
Yes,
because I've been so many
exactly.
times in India. I think I cannot count how many times I've been in India since 1986. So it's been a couple of years I've been going to India, and sometimes I used to go 3 times a year. Uh,
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
I've been in most parts of India, from Tamil Nadu all the way almost to the Himalayas. I've been everywhere.
Like,
And I even had a very, very interesting experience, which is to go in a train in India.
oh,
It's special, believe me.
it's more than special, right?
But I was
Yeah.
always in the first class. because in
Oh,
train India
probably
there's 5
good.
different classes, and I mean the lowest class is so bad that they don't even have glasses, you know, on the windows because like that the air is moving. Okay.
Mm. Well, I always wondered about that.
Yeah,
They don't
and
show the people in first class, so
and if you go to places like Bombay and you see the people are on top of the train,
yes.
Yeah.
that is special. Quite
You know, I'm so grateful for like my background, and you know, my mom is Christian, and I went to church with her. My sister and I, we went to church with her on Sunday. But my dad, he was Hindu, and we did our pujas, our prayers with him. And you know, it is a very rich and spiritual culture. And
sure.
when I was a kid, you know, like you know, kids always want to fit in and not be the outsider. And I was so many things made me different and made me stand out compared to the other kids that I went to school with. But now, in retrospect, you know, as an adult and as I've lived my life, I cherish my background, you know, and what I was exposed to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I have to tell you something. As a transgender person, India is a place of extreme, extreme amount of transgender people. And it is by the history of transgender people, it's probably one of the worst, um, one of the oldest, sorry, not the worst, one of the oldest um, transgender civilizations,
Mhm.
dating for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you because when I go on a regular basis into a place called Tamil Nadu, which I've got my you know, I work I work with people from there. Okay. In Tamil Nadu, not far away from the factories, there is the Transgender Festival every year. The Transgender Festival is about 1 week, and sometimes it's got more than thousands of transgender people.
Mm.
It's very, very special. It is made, what do you call it? It's made in a place which is the transgender god, a transgender Hindu god,
Mm.
and they've got a special place for him. So, and in this transgender thing, they've got a very thing where transgender women get married, okay, for one night, um, and they've got a very
You
long
said
of
you
getting.
said for one night.
Well, you can have it for more than one night, but
No, I'm playing. I'm
so it
messing with
is the
you.
idol is called Lord Aravan, okay, and Lord Aravan is the Lord of the transgender people in India. Every March, I think there is thousands,
Yeah,
thousands
because
going there.
in Hindu mythology, Lord Aravan lived as a woman for a while.
Correct.
He was male, but then he lived as a woman for a while, and that's why, you know, he's like the transgender deity. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah. It's
yeah.
so I hope probably next year to go there too and see how, you know, how's everybody doing. No,
Yes, I'm gonna get in your
Wow, yeah.
suitcase. Hey, listen, I keep saying that. I guess I'm believing it. So don't be surprised if I pop out somewhere
Yeah,
when you get to your hotel room.
yeah, yeah. Maybe we could do a trans gurus from there, and I'll write it off as a contribution to our favorite nonprofit or something here. So,
Oh, I love it. I love it.
okay. Do you want to last round?
oh
Okay.
sure,
Yeah, go
Bobby,
ahead.
go ahead.
yeah. It's funny. I was it. Oh gosh, it's a long time ago. 25, 30. I don't know. It was a long time ago. For Christmas, one of my sons gave me this little book of little nuggets of wisdom because he knows I've just been collecting proverbs and I've just been collecting that stuff forever. Um, and there was one that just really haunted me, and this is like 30 years ago. It really haunted me because at first I didn't want to believe it, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it was really true. And when I think about principles that I put into practice every day, this is one of them. And it goes like this: 5 years from now, your life will be exactly as it is today, except for two things: the people you meet and the books you read. And I just I think, hmm. And it's like the more I thought about it, it was like, I don't think I can argue with that. I really don't. Because those are the two things that really have the power to change everything about your life. Um, the people you meet and the books you read. And since that day, I have made it my mission to meet new people every day. And I do that. I want people to know me. Uh, One reason is I don't think that the prejudice and the mythology and all of that crap that weighs against all of us in one way or the other. I don't. I know just from the way it was with bigotry and racism in the 50s and 60s, that stuff doesn't disappear until you start forming relationships with the people you once hated or the people you once had these horrible prejudices or stereotypes about it. It's not until you develop relationships with people and you go, oh my God, all I was looking at was the color of their skin. They've got this beautiful soul, and I really love this person. I like this person, and I can't believe how lovable these souls were. And I had let the color of skin just totally obscure all of that. And so I know in myself, and I want as many people as possible to meet me. I really do, and I do that every day because that's the only way I feel like uh, things are ever going to get better. And so that works both ways, because it's like people say, "Oh, well, I'm so glad to meet you because could you consider coming to do this for us or this or that?" And it just really has opened a lot of doors. And so that's just the contribution I want to leave everybody with. It's like um, those are the only things that change your life: the people you meet and the books you read. And I believe that, and I put it into practice pretty much every day now for 30 years or so. And uh, I'm married to that one, I'll tell you. So,
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
yeah.
Guys, your last round?
Sure. In closing, I just want to say that we all are passing through, and it's like a blink of an eye. So, right in this moment, everyone that's watching, I want you to believe, okay? Because there's no time to waste.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, believe in your goals, believe in your existence. And guess what? Tomorrow is the 4th of July holiday here in America. And you know
Yeah.
what I believe? I believe that I'm going to have some delicious food tomorrow. Ella.
I just want to ask to add something. Believe and be positive, because positive brings positivity. And enjoy your 4th of July. Enjoy the beautiful day. It's going to be a great day tomorrow. And every day is better than the day before. Bye,
Ooh,
everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.